7:03 p.m. Just a reminder to everyone that this meeting is being recorded and may be live as well. I'm not 100% sure about that, just reminder of that what we say will be out there. So the second item on our agenda for tonight is a review of the minutes from April 25th. And thank you, Nancy, for sending them to us ahead of time so we can review them ahead of time and keep this part of the meeting a little bit shorter. I believe, Colleen, you said there was something.
Yeah, it was just a typo. An 8B on the front page. It says, find out if there were any odor complaints instead of complaints.
Okay, needs a T. I will add that in.
And that's all I found.
Alright.
Do you know who's collecting the money for services?
Okay. Anything else from anyone else? Any other comments about this minutes? Alright, do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion.
Colleen makes the motion. I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Minutes approved. Off on this. Okay, here's the official copy for you to do. COVID-19 flu Maven update. The state is, as of Thursday, has said that all medical facilities no longer are required for all their staff and visitors to mask. However, if individual locations decide that that's what they want to do, they're not going to prevent it. Under Maven update, I apologize, I just remembered this morning to email the person at MPHN requesting an update. And as of 5 o'clock she hadn't responded, but of course it wasn't too early this morning. I was doing chores first. I would like to, we have a visitor, Jim Ellis, here from Seminole Avenue, and he is part of 9A, new business, and I'd like to move him up to the next item on the agenda so that he doesn't have to spend 2 hours here at the meeting. So, Jim is here in regards to the Cushman Pond beach testing, and last year we had given him a variance to only do the testing, was it once a month?
Once every 2 weeks.
Once every 2 weeks
Every other
instead
week,
of
yeah.
every week.
Right.
And I believe and then you're still sending us all your results though,
Of course,
correct?
yeah,
Yeah.
we're required to, right?
Right.
I mean, I know Mallory is departed, but I would send them to her and I have to copy some person to
Right,
the
you send
state.
them to inspect, which is
Inspect,
Nancy,
yeah, which is
and
now
then
Nancy,
it's
yeah.
presented.
So you'll be
at-
getting an email from me once every other week or from another guy on my team.
Okay, okay.
And I send it to a guy at the state, which I forget his name, but there's a address for the state that I have to copy it to.
It's that's interesting to hear because we got an email end of December, January, requesting the same information, which I did give them. Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm glad you're doing it.
Yeah, I can tell you which address I sent it to if you're interested, but.
Yeah, would you make a note of that, Nancy, in case it's a different one
Mhm.
than,
Yeah, I'll,
or you can send it to Nancy
Okay,
in
I
an
can send it
email
to you, yeah.
tomorrow,
sure.
or this
Yeah,
evening, however
yeah.
you wanna do, at inspect email, and, So, they're requesting,
Can I come up to the table here so I can
Yeah.
put my computer down?
sure,
Cause I can't find, and I gotta set the Wi-Fi too, of course.
sure. So he's requesting again, and we'll,
So do you have a copy of the application? I don't know if you made a copy or not. I sent this in the fall, actually. I only made it, like, I didn't wanna pass it around. I only made one copy. Sorry, my printer was on my fritz. But I mailed it to you, the
Okay,
application.
if you did it in the fall, I didn't go back
Well, I
that
sent
far.
it again.
Oh, okay, cause I
Yeah.
printed out what you had sent me.
Okay, so whatever I sent,
It
that's.
might be on the second page, is it?
yes,
So,
Okay,
I mean,
yes.
if you want me to go into some background?
Yes, this is an application.
Yeah.
That we're
Okay.
looking for?
So if you wanna go into some background, would that be helpful, or?
so you've been,
Whatever.
up until 2 years ago, I believe, you were testing every week.
Up
correct?
until last year. Last year was
Yeah.
the first year. So before, well, to go way back, we had a variance, a long time ago.
Correct,
But, and anyway, I don't even know what happened there because I was really, back at the time I was really busy. I know I originally did the testing when, well, I can make a long story really long, sorry. The short, bottom line is we, had 2 years of clean testing, which is a requirement to get a variance. So we had 2 years of clean testing in, let's see, it would have been, I guess, I think it was 19 and 20, where our 2 years of clean testing, we applied for
Correct.
variance, we finally, we got it sometime during 2021,
correct,
and so we had the last 3 years have been, 19, 20, 21 were all every week, and last year was the first year we did every other week since, we got the variance.
correct,
Variances can be issued for 4 years and then they can be renewed after that, but you can choose to do less, which you did. I don't know if everyone is aware of all the provisions in 105 CMR 445, which is what governs this. Just to be aware, just saying maybe it'll affect your decision, that a variance instantly expires if we have one reading over. So it doesn't mean like the 4 years. You can say 4 years, but that doesn't change the fact that it will instantly expire if we have one reading. That's the, I forget what it is. I know it's in here somewhere. The 200 or whatever it is. I can tell you what it is. It's, let's see. I think it's one reading of, where is it? Somewhere in here, I'll find it. Let's see, one reading of, it's E. coli, so it's one reading exceeding 235 colonies per 100 milliliters, or an average of the previous, most recent 5 exceeding 126 colonies. And as you can see, just to give you a little more background on our beach, it's what they call a semi-public beach, so it's in a private community, homeowners association on Cushman Pond. It's only available to people who live in the neighborhood and pay their homeowner's fee. The beach is very limited used. I mean, if you want, you could read my data and you can see that I have to mark how many bathers are down there at a given time. Usually it's 0. I literally was down there on the 4th of July weekend one time, when I first moved, moved to the neighborhood a while ago. It was a good story. I was down there on the 4th of July, on the 4th, and there was one kid sitting at a picnic table playing guitar. That's the only person down there. So it's it's very nice. It's in the woods. It's surrounded by trees and houses, but it's, limitedly used. It's a small pond. It's a 25-acre pond. It's got a nice beach, but, it gets limited use. So, this is not, what's the pond over in Leominster State Forest that, is like about an acre in size and gets like, hundreds of people? It's not that. It's the opposite of that. Gets very little use. So that's the thing I just want to throw out that even if you grant 4 years, so we don't have to do this every year, if we have a reading that exceeds those things, it instantly expires. So that's that anyway. And I will say, the other thing I would say is that we are a small association. Our entire budget for the entire association is less than $20,000 a year. So, maybe like, oh, what's the big deal about the testing? If we have to test every week, it doubles our expenses on that. and that becomes about, I think, 2% of our budget, which is just for something which we've never, we basically has never failed in my watch. It's money we could spend other places, having a second porta potty, I don't know, having someone, we are a volunteer organization. That's the other thing I wanna mention, is that if, it's volunteers, so if we have to hire somebody to do it, because we can't get volunteers to do it every week, it's probably gonna be, I don't know, what you guys use an agent for, Comet Pond? Are you responsible for that, or is it the state?
That's the state.
Yeah, so, I don't know, I mean, it's really hard to even find someone who will do it, especially these days. I called Neshoba and they said, we don't have a courier anymore. So if I was to hire someone to do this, it might cost me more than $100 a test. Now, over the course of 15 tests, you add in the $35 testing fee, the $100 for someone to go and courier it there, do the test and courier it. We're talking could be 10% of our budget. It's a significant factor for something, like I say, we've never failed when it's been done right. As far as I know, I have no record of us ever failing for the probably something like more than a half dozen or a dozen years I've been involved. There was a time when I was very busy with work. I used to manage 60 people across the world and was flying all the time, very busy, and I turned it over to someone else in our association, and this is after we got the variance the first time many years ago, and they lost it, but I'm not believing they followed the procedures. As if you've ever read this thing, you'll know that there are very strict guidelines for sampling which have to be followed, because the numbers of colonies in here, that the limits obviously are based upon scientific study. And one of the differences,
how you do your sampling.
What's that?
How your sampling techniques are very important.
well, right, and somebody made a decision of what the right number is based upon where that sample was going to be taken. And if someone just comes in with, and by the way, I have a bachelor's in science, and so does the other volunteer who does this now. I don't let anyone, because what I found is you need someone who understands scientific process, I literally think I had someone who came down probably right off his farm with probably animal, excrement still on their boots. They go down, they don't go down, you're supposed to take it, I don't know if you wear this, it has to be taken according to the state mandate, at a depth of 3 feet, 12 inches below the surface and 6 inches above, because they want something uniform. And if someone isn't willing to do that, they could obviously get a bad reading, because obviously the concern comes in from like the rain, washing stuff in off the shore. If you just test it right at the shore, obviously you could get a different reading than what the state has said the testing point is, which is uniform depth of 3 feet, which means, by the way, you have to wade, which means I tell all the volunteers, if you're going to wade, you have to shower first, and you have to wear shoes that are clean, because anything, even your hands, obviously can change the results. So, like I said, so I think as far as I know, we did fail at one point, like I said, 5, 6, 7 years ago. I don't even know when, because I wasn't doing it then. And I believe, if I was to guess, it was because it probably wasn't handled by someone properly trained. That would be my guess. Not because we had any sort of problem. We do have a porta potty down there. We do have a do not feed the geese policy down there to try to keep, wildlife from congregating there. And we do a porta potty there to also encourage people to, not go to the bathroom in the woods. We do have a trash barrel that, again, is enclosed, so the rain can't perk through it. It's a covered, enclosed trash barrel, so if someone throws out a kid's diaper again, it will not intrude into the beach. And of course, the variance, as you know, as originally applied, has to be approved by a sanitarium. I used, is it Popham? I think I used Mark Popham, who did that. And that was the second. Like I said, I've been through this before, but I need a registered sanitarium, which I am not, to do it. So he did it last year. You guys approved it, and I guess all I'm saying is I'd like to renew it, and if possible, let's just do it for 4 years. And you and I are in communication constantly. If we have a reading that's over, we instantly drop back to. If we have a reading that's over, we instantly drop back to every week anyway. That's the law. So.
Any ideas or comments from anyone?
Sounds like he has it under control.
Yeah. I have no problem with the every other week.
Right, I don't either.
Yeah, absolutely.
The contact person from the state, wasn't aware that we had the variance with you, so
Interesting.
I had to reply that we had approved a variance, so, that there wouldn't be other tests, so.
Okay, interesting that he, yeah, and that's
So
the
I-
thing,
it's-
somebody
it was
has to
someone
inform
doing
him, I guess.
statistics from the department, so it's probably not the person that you send the tests to.
Yeah, okay,
Somebody didn't communicate, is what I'm trying to indicate.
yeah,
How many volunteers do you have?
to do the
taking
testing?
Yeah.
I have one other, and by the way, he has a doctor in science, so like I said, we're not just letting anybody do this anymore. So,
Right, cause I was on the board when it did fail.
you were, okay,
Mhm. So it's less than 8 years ago,
was it less than 8, okay,
7 years ago.
okay. Yeah, I don't have those records, like I said,
That's okay.
I was involved in it from like 2007, 2008, 2009. We were using Berkshire for a while, but that lab, they were extremely disorganized. I think they lost their
Permits.
permit after some time. Then someone else in the association volunteered to do it, and that's when it failed. Which
That
of
was
course
just
I was annoyed about because I did all this work to get it through because of variance in the first place, and we never had a problem when I was doing it. Anyway, so
That was just one reading.
I don't know. I
And
don't
the
have.
very
I
next
don't.
one was fine, or we don't know.
There were a couple,
There were a couple.
and then they cleared up.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I-
basically, when they came in that way, we told the association that they had to put up no swimming signs till
Yeah.
the testing came through clear.
yeah, that's what the rules are, and you're supposed to drop back to every week when it happens. Like I said, and
Mhm.
I assume that it's a reset. You got to do the whole 2 years again. So, yeah, I mean, we're very diligent. If we ever see any goose poop on the beach, we scoop it right up. We're very diligent about that. But again, that's all volunteers, so it depends on the quality of volunteers at the time. And like I said,
Mhm.
at the time I was
So,
overwhelmed, so I
Right.
was, yeah.
I think, like you said, as long as it's negative, then it's okay for it to be every other week. And as soon as, if there is a problem, we'll have to go back to every week.
Right, and
And
that's,
yes, I would assume we would have to go through, another 2 years of clear testing before you can have a variance again. That's
I think that's how
state
it's written.
guidelines more than ours,
Yeah,
so.
I think that is unfortunately
Yeah,
basically.
I believe that that's what my belief is, I can't quote the state code, but anyhow. Hearing no other discussion, I make a motion that we approve an extension of the sampling variance for Cushman Pond Beach, for 4 years, such that the sampling would be done every other week, not every week, from,
It's always, well, we have signs there which post when the season's open. It's always Memorial Day to Labor Day.
from Memorial Day to Labor Day,
Yeah, and we're supposed to do one actually before Memorial Day, so
correct?
once we
And
put
one
in,
after,
once we put, well, I don't know if we're supposed to do one after we close the beach. But I know we're
Okay.
supposed to do one before we open the
yes,
beach.
you'd have to do one before you can open it.
Yeah, we'll do one before we open it. Which is what we do.
Alright, do I hear a second on that?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alright.
Alright, well, thank you. So yeah, you can keep that other I don't know how many copies, but I brought a paper copy and I don't know, I guess,
So you don't want that one back?
I mean, I'll take a copy if you want one.
I'm going to give you a copy.
Okay, great.
Save a trip. I'll fill both of them out. Oh,
I assume you have to file that with the state or something. I don't know what to do with it.
Well, you need to keep a copy for your association.
Yeah, that's fine.
So 4 years from now is 2027, right?
Oh my goodness.
So you'll be waiting out there soon to do the first test.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So we make a copy.
And we put the floats in. We have safety floats, so we put those in the week before, and then we put the test after we put the floats in, we do the test. But we're not officially open. There's a sign which says when it's tested. We're not officially open until Memorial Day. Doesn't mean we can, we don't. By the way, we don't, we don't go down there and tell people they can't swim. If someone goes in, it's clearly posted that they can't, that it's not tested, and that's what the guidance says. But
Correct.
we don't go down there and chase them away if someone's swimming.
Yeah.
Do people like kayak or paddleboard or anything out there?
Oh yeah, I live
Fishing
right on
too?
the pond. What's that?
Fishing too?
Yeah, no motorboats though.
No.
But I live right on the pond. I have a kayak right down by the dock. I go all the time.
Nice.
I mean, the nice thing about being right on the water is I can tell people if I want to go for an hour kayak, it takes me an hour,
Oh, yeah,
which is nice,
right
right?
there.
Versus putting them on the car, taking them off, putting, it's like by the time we went somewhere else, and it's by the time we were done, it was 3 hours to go kayaking for 1 hour.
Yeah.
So it is nice.
Well, thank you for coming.
Oh, of
Thank
course,
you.
yeah. Thanks for giving the extension. If you ever want to do an inspection, just give me a jingle.
Okay,
I'll give you the tour.
sure. Nice. Yep, if we get any requests.
Yeah, I
Well,
doubt you
we'll
will, but. All right, so you guys then have to file this with the state so they know. Is that how that works?
I'm not sure.
Something must happen, right?
I will check it out. I'll look.
Yeah, I mean, this is the state's application that I filled out. I
Okay.
just don't know, and if you need anything from me,
Mm-hmm.
just let me know. I don't know all the nuances of how to get, what you have to do from here to keep us legal.
The biggest thing is to make sure we get and the state gets water test results.
Yeah.
That's the biggest deal.
All right, when I get home, I'll send you the address of who I'm sending it to currently.
Okay.
And sometimes you may get it from someone named Jay Gogan instead. I can put that in email too.
Okay, perfect.
He's the other person who helps me out.
Okay.
Switched it already.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah, I changed it all.
It's like sitting on a bleacher or something.
All right, well,
Thank
thanks
you.
a lot. Good luck
Thank
with
you
the
very
rest of your
much.
meeting.
you.
Thanks, Jim.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Have a good evening.
Yeah, you
It's like
too.
I'm sitting on a rock. It's like sitting on a rock.
Okay, so I guess we have one Title V,
Yes.
of 52 Burgess Road. And, okay. And it passes. 52 Burgess Road.
It says it's for a realtor. So they'll probably have something to do
Right.
with
And I think. get any water tests in?
No.
Oh, I forgot to bring mine. For my
I'll
kitchen
remind
lessons.
you.
Alright, I am going to, also, while we're going through the Title V, look at the permits. We have, yep, did he send in his?
Yes.
Yay. Fine. Sorry. Little explanation. House Country Store, sells, breads and mostly fresh vegetables and flower baskets and things at Riata Ranch. And, it has taken 3 years to get him to get exactly correct information to our office for his temporary food permit to sell at Riata. The biggest thing I had to keep asking for every time is his food establishment permit that he would always have his surf save and everything else, for his country store, he has a, common victualler license and all that kind of stuff. And he would be including those, but not the food establishment. We have the correct one now.
daughter.
Thank you. Because his, so anyhow, we have everything in order. Great, now I can go and do the inspection and praise the fella for getting it correct. Been fussing at him for
3 years.
for 3 years, reminding him and he would send us the wrong stuff. So, okay, and you can take a look at that.
Are we supposed to sign it?
I make a motion that we approve his, temporary food permit.
So that's so he can sell at Riata Ranch.
Yes, and he sells little loaves of baked breads.
So we
and
sign
some-
it then?
Yes.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are approved. Okay, so sign.
Anybody second? Oh, second, I'll second.
Okay. We can sign the permit as it goes around.
We got more to sign.
Okay.
Those are for the fair.
Oh, okay. We're already in. June 10th. It is just around the corner,
When
isn't
we're
it?
talking about permits though, can I just throw something in there, wasn't on the agenda yet?
It's okay.
Does anybody know the Sugar High place that's selling,
I saw that.
have we ever gotten a permit or anything
Is that
from them?
the little place on the side of the road?
Cruise Road.
Yeah,
Cruise.
38 Cruise Road, it's called Sugar High Baked Goods, they're advertising on the Hubbardston group. And, come by, kinda leave money, take the
Oh.
baked goods.
38 Cruise Road.
Yeah, there's a name associated with it, Jeff,
Baked.
I don't know if you want that.
Yeah. Just write it down. On there.
So, I don't know if so this is on there, so they have pictures of things, and then that was the address, and then see, it's like a little,
Mm-hmm. They can do that if they have their kitchen permit.
yeah, and I just didn't know if we had ever, like,
I've never heard of them.
Nope.
yes, I don't know if they know they have to.
Right.
Yeah, they
Well,
may
we'll
not.
just get them Squared
Informed.
away.
Squared away. Yeah, I just didn't know if, they probably don't realize, 'cause some people sell like eggs on the side of the road, like in my neighborhood, but it's a donation for, to help feed the chickens or whatever. It's not, he's not selling them, there's no price, you know what I'm saying? So the eggs,
Well, you're not cooking the eggs. It's not coming
well,
out of your
that's,
kitchen.
that's true,
It's coming
but
out of chicken butts.
I guess, but if he was selling them, wouldn't he have to have some type of, no,
No.
ah,
No,
alright. But anyway, I did see that, and
Okay.
I feel bad, I don't wanna get anybody's,
no one's gonna be in
Panties in a
trouble, we're
bunch,
just
but-
gonna get them organized as to the
Yeah.
appropriate things that need.
I have not tried the baked goods myself, so I can't say that they look really good.
They sound
They do, they sound good, they really do. Oh, yeah, cool.
They get rave reviews, so,
Okay.
yeah.
And that's on
I just saw
via
that yesterday.
Facebook advertising, right?
Yeah, the Hubbardston group, Hubbardston people group, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hubbardston people. Yeah, and then getting the serve safe isn't a big deal. You can do that online now.
Yes, that is correct. Okay, permits. So coming up for June 10th,
Do you wanna just say?
oh, yes, thank you. Yes, keep me going. All right. We have, Blue Darner Granola, Giacomo's, has paid their Stars and Stripes Diner, Trivetta, Pro Bar, No Coast Kitchen, Minuteman, Kettle Corn, The Dog Father, he sells hot dogs, Pop's Sweethearts, Hawaiian Shave Ice, New England Comfort Foods, and Uncle Joey's Cannolis.
You know that Stars and Stripes Diner was the Hub Diner.
Correct.
It's not, it's now Stars and Stripes.
Oh, yes,
They changed the name.
yes, they did.
Yeah.
Changed ownership technically as well.
Yeah, Wanda is now running it, so.
Right.
It's, huh?
Stars and Stripes Diner
Across
was
from
the,
Mr.
It was the Hubtown Diner.
was the Hubtown
Oh,
Diner.
yep.
Yeah, they had a little thing on Facebook the other day, how it changed hands.
Correct. Okay, so
And-
what happens is on June 10th, the ones that I have not inspected as a regular business in town, which I've already inspected Stars and Stripes and Giacomo's, and the Hub Market and the Pizza Palace, I've gotten 4 food inspections done so far. They will have a 1-day inspection form filled out, or I fill it out and I visit all of them in the morning of the day of the event. And, so what they're asking for here is permit to operate a food establishment, a 1-day event, the Hubbardston Fair. They pay and it expires the same day at the end of the fair, so it's a 1-day permit. And so, I
They
make,
all have their serve safe attached and all that. It's everything.
the ones that need it. Oh, yeah. And their inspection, like
Katie
on,
had everything together.
yep,
So we're basically just signing off on them. They're all set.
we're
They-
approving their 1-day
They
permit,
paid their
they paid their
Yep.
fees.
fees and everything's all set. Okay.
And what happens?
There were a few that didn't have, checks with them, but Katie marked them as paid, so she must have the checks.
Okay, so we haven't collected all the money yet.
So I didn't put, obviously didn't put a receipt with the ones that I didn't get checks for.
Okay,
She's just got marked paid.
she marked them paid?
Yeah, like on this one,
Yeah, show me an example,
she marked it paid there,
but you have
but
not.
I didn't get a check.
and you know that,
Yes,
okay,
because the ones that I got a check from, I put a receipt in. I
correct,
think the first 3
don't have,
don't have a receipt.
they will be held till the next meeting,
Yeah,
No
'cause
money,
isn't that how the,
no permit,
I guess.
Well, I think she's got the money, cause it says that it's paid.
we didn't get it,
I just don't have a receipt, I just didn't do a receipt for the ones that I didn't get a
Right.
physical check for.
it's okay, we have one more meeting before it happens anyhow,
Okay.
it's fine,
Okay.
so, those won't get approved tonight. That's just how we need to do things.
I think it's those first 3.
Okay, just double check. Yeah. So we're approving, we're,
Does that one have a receipt with
Yep.
it? Okay.
so we're holding, Blue Darner granola. We're holding Giacomo's. And we're holding Stars and Stripes, pending the receipt of their 1-day permit fee. The other ones on the list, which I'll send the whole folder around, I make a motion we approve. They're fully up to date here. Second,
Yeah, second.
Colleen seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, now we'll pass around to sign. I'll just start passing around.
Oh, we're gonna sign these.
Yeah, we're signing. Put that on my calendar. To June 10th, 10 a.m. I will be at the town fair.
Maybe we'll just leave them all in the pile there.
Here, you can put them right back in.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead and put them right back in. I marked your list,
Okay.
so we're good.
Hope you didn't sign this one.
How did you do that?
You're fired.
I guess it was stuck to the other one. Here, folks. See? I need you to catch these things, Colleen.
Well, since you're right above me, it was hard to, wasn't hard to notice.
What do you think Pop Sweethearts is? Pop Sweethearts, that one, what do you think that is?
They're the little cake pops,
Oh, cute.
I believe. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
The food vendors at the town fair are just great.
Mm-hmm.
So far, I haven't had any issues in the past.
I mean, this is what they do all the time, right? These trucks.
Yeah, or the town ones that go over for the day,
Yeah.
they know the setup,
Yeah.
so it's fine.
Yeah.
And they know that there's, somebody's gonna come and check them, so.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next on the list, I believe, is open septic plans, engineering plans review.
Yeah.
55 Bemis. Is this the one was it done already? No. We're to look at the engineering plans that Phil approved.
Yeah, it says it's a repair on the agenda.
That's the one that is that the one that he had already looked at, remotely?
Oh, right, probably.
Is it? I don't remember.
But it's
Is my
signed up.
email, is my email in there? Cause I think
Too close to the
let me
line.
see.
So he came in and signed them.
Uh-huh.
It was 5-4 though, but I think he made.
This is Pinecrest?
Yep.
So
In
is-
Pinecrest, yeah.
Oh, I see. That's so weird that it's not, the address isn't Navajo Street, that's funny. Look at that frontage on Bemis, this is.
Well, it's on Bemis Road, which isn't that the address? Which
Correct.
really
I
is
think
not
this
in
is Bemis.
Pinecrest, I
Yeah,
don't
and
think.
this is the
It's at the corner
property,
of
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so it has frontage on Bemis
But she asked if
too.
it was
So
in
it's corner lot, I
Pinecrest.
guess.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
they just
it's kinda
decided
in
to.
it.
Oh, yeah, it is Navajo and
Okay.
Bemis. The driveway comes in off of
No,
Bemis.
that is just one
But it looks like,
Oh, I see.
I guess the house is facing Bemis.
Hmm.
So it's a repair? Are they putting in,
Construction.
It says
oh,
repair
the
and-
agenda says repair.
yeah, it could say repair.
No, hold on.
Well, it says it has an existing 3-bedroom house.
Okay, hold on. I may be wrong.
Existing septic tank.
Yeah, repair.
Yep, I misread it. My mistake. Sorry. It is a repair.
Yeah, it is a small lot, it's like 3/4 of an acre. Small for harvesting.
Yeah.
Right, that's what we too, we're doing a small lot of.
Oh, really just
That's
unfolded.
It's
Just
all
broke
right.
into little pieces.
So are they just removing the existing leach field and replacing right in the same spot, or? I didn't see if they point out the existing leach fields. But I didn't see like a second location, so I'm assuming they're just carting it all away and starting over with clean.
Proposed area of excavation, remove all fill, old system, top and subsoil, clean undisturbed sand can remain. Fill with Title V sand to elevation of a certain height. So yes,
Okay.
they're basically,
Digging up the old and adding all new,
and disposing of everything
same site.
to whoever takes that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
trees right over it.
Yeah. So a lot of
Well,
people.
it's not gonna be treed anymore.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't even really realize where their leach field is, and
Yeah.
they've just allowed over time things to grow up over it, they don't even know.
All right,
And
so
then you
I
need to
make
repair.
motion that we approve the repair of 55 Bemis Road. All in, second?
Second.
All in Lori, second, all in favor?
Aye. That's a mini, huh?
Hmm?
You got a mini?
I'll sign
A
at
mini
least
cell
2
phone?
copies.
Yeah, it's like 5 years old. It's really old.
It's pretty small though, I mean, look at,
Yeah, this is actually a 7.
oh, okay,
It's
yeah,
an
this
old
is an
five.
All
They
right,
got
there we go.
revamped.
There's that one.
I'll be getting a new
I
one.
like the smaller one though, because it fits better in your pocket and everything.
We have.
That's why I like it.
Yes.
I had a
This
five.
is the one,
I got a
remember
Yeah.
the
seven.
gentleman came in
Yes.
because he was gonna do a
I
well
don't-
permit, so I
Correct.
need to
Really
sign
big.
off on that, but also Tim had,
So, we have 142 New Westminster Road. The, plan was reviewed as an engineer and sanitarian by Tim Newton last year. And for some reason, was never brought to one of our meetings for approval. Don't know why, but Nancy caught it, and now we're here to correct it. There is a new current owner by the name of Donald Foster for this, location. And here's what Tim did, reviewed. And we actually have 4 copies.
So this was new construction at the time?
Correct.
Okay.
Proposed house. Yeah, you can see that there.
Yep. Wow, that's a lot of trenches. Pretty big.
Well, they're showing the individual lines.
Yeah, that just looks.
Sometimes they don't show that. They just show you the leach field area.
Well,
And
the Litchfield area looks as big as the house area, you know?
how many bedroom was it?
I've lost track.
60 by 30. I need to see
Here,
them.
what we got on the bedrooms for the property.
4 bedrooms.
Yeah, I figured that's why, 4 bedrooms.
Oh,
Yeah.
Some of this stuff in that pile of stuff that I need to file and scan.
So, was this brought to the attention of Mark and Concom?
I believe it was, I didn't read through everything.
Yeah, let's just double check. Oh, here it is, it's all filled out.
Yeah,
Alright,
I
This
think,
one
I think
there
there was
is
a lot of
just-
work done
is
on
the
this,
pond, the
from
wetland?
kind of what I,
Is that,
I guess, it seems like the wetlands though are over here.
but
So-
over there we have 50-foot buffer and 100.
so it was, put forth to, the abutters,
Yeah,
and it was
that's
also put
shows
forth
what,
to,
200 100-foot wetland buffer
that was
here.
DEP,
last year.
yep, last year. So it
that's
went
the
through
rest
the
of
whole
the
process,
wetlands,
other than,
Right.
now it's, the project's being taken over by, a new owner.
It was never completed by the first people?
Nope, but all the forms for wetlands and everything, it's all here. Everything's was sent in and approved and so on. Money's collected for that fee. The whole plan for the WPA Form 3 Notice of Intent, and so on.
It says conservation approval may be required, do you know if that was, they had to get conservation approval?
Yeah, 'cause on this plan, it looks like either way you slice it, it's over the wetland buffer.
Correct.
Kinda does appear to be.
Yeah,
Well, it says it's a tributary to a public water supply on there,
so I don't see any Concom.
but then it says it's not it's not near any wells of the public water supply.
So here's some.
Yeah, no, but it's near quite a bit of wetlands, right? Is that what these black little things like bushes? Is that demarking wetlands?
They got their variance, here's a copy of the variance they got for it.
Oh, so they have a variance to be closer to the wetlands than they're supposed to be?
Yeah, you can ask for a variance and they did get it.
Okay,
It was.
that's the conservation approval that
went-
it's talking about?
Actually, it went through September of 2017. So I guess this property went through zoning, Board of Appeals. At the time,
Oh, okay,
zoning
so
board in
that's
the
the
town.
Hubbardston zoning, but that's not the conservation approval, right? It's a separate conservation committee?
Correct. Needs to go before Concom.
Well, that is wetlands, and they're totally surrounded.
They just need to just review the documents, I think, at this point.
I think it might be in there.
It's in here still?
I think it might.
I mean,
I didn't.
there's a
said
lot of.
There's a lot, yeah, so.
There's wetland.
Are there any public drinking water supply wells?
No, it
That's
says no.
Well, was that a thing in Hubbardston
yeah.
at all, though?
I
I'm
don't
sorry,
think there's
this
any
school?
reservoirs in town, there's no.
we do have watershed areas that the state owns in Hubbardston that's why the state owns it.
It's considered
Gotcha.
drinking water tributaries.
Alright, I think we can sign off, but, I would
I'll
just,
double check with you.
I would just ask Nancy to double check that Concom, reviewed it.
Yeah, 'cause it does say
I
number
mean,
15.
it looks like all the,
Conservation approval may be required, and
Correct.
didn't know if they.
I think it's in that paperwork somewhere,
we
but-
have a lot, there's
Okay.
photographs, there's,
So you're thinking it may have already been done and could be in there, you're just gonna
Yeah.
double check, Nancy?
Yes,
Okay. Yeah,
I'll
that
see
makes
him
me,
tomorrow.
that makes me feel better, especially because it's we're kind of behind
yeah,
the ball on this one.
correct. Alright, I make a motion, we approve the engineering plans for 142 New Westminster Road. Second,
I'll second.
alright, approve.
Aye.
Aye.
You gotta hang on to this one. It's the only one we sign. Okay.
Put it on the wall.
They're supposed to sign them all.
Usually you sign at least two, one that stays with us and one that goes to the construction company / builders. So,
Phil usually signs all of them.
yes, ideally you sign everything. Once
So
it's,
we must have stacks now of all this stuff that's waiting to be scanned in, right?
Well, some of this stuff I found in that pile in front of my desk. And if I didn't go looking for it,
Yeah, yeah.
so that has to get
Okay.
done.
Well, good find.
Mm-hmm.
keep your fingers crossed, we haven't been denied an intern starting June. I haven't heard anything, I'll have to send another email.
Yeah, but that's a short-term thing,
Still
and
would
then
help.
I
They
guess
have them
get
in the
caught up.
fall as well.
Caught up, I guess. I suppose they can be looking at plans while they're scanning them and learning things, right?
Don't learn how to scan.
Slave labor is what it is.
Okay. Do you wanna sign the wall permit too?
So one of the things I don't do is until we know everything is okay, I don't sign off on the well permits. That doesn't require a vote, it's one of the chairman's duties.
Okay.
Put it on your resume.
along with fees paid and everything else already in order. And Nancy is, just show her the front checklist that you're now putting in all the files of the protocols.
So it's
a-
just the list that's on the website, and I'm just making notes, so if anybody picked up the file, I've just started doing it, so I have a lot to do, all the files that, are in the drawer. But it's just a quick, easy way to know whether or not it was paid and when
What's
and,
still
yeah,
outstanding.
what's outstanding and.
in case a hard copy somewhere's in the chart gets stuck somewhere else by mistake. So it's a checks and balances, and I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, and
And
it's working
These
for
kind
me.
of things won't be scanned in until everything's done and,
Correct, cause those are
All
these are in
in
that bottom
process.
file next to Duffy's desk.
Yeah.
Cause they're in the works.
okay.
I brought this one just because Phil came in today and signed it. This is the one that he did remotely.
Oh,
And
okay.
he signed it, so I didn't know if you guys wanted to see it
Sure.
or.
So to add to the, number 7, we're gonna add, 8 Malone,
Mhm.
8 Malone Road, Lot A. Is Lot A, but 8 Malone Road.
Well, I think it's now 8 Malone instead of
Oh.
Lot A.
Gotcha. They
Once it's given
assigned,
a number.
okay.
That was in there.
Yeah, that's just the receipt.
Well, alright, we reviewed all of that.
Yeah, I just didn't know if you wanted to see that he signed them.
Okay,
That's what I,
yes, Phil came in and
So
actually
he-
signed them
yes, cause he
versus
did it,
remotely.
I had the email that he had reviewed them and okayed them, and then you
Okay.
guys approved them last time.
Alright, we're good,
That's all set.
all set. Okay. Under old business, Board of Health regs, the health nurse, and the legal handbook, I am going to suggest that we table all of that, tonight. I don't think we're ready to, make any changes on any of those items, okay?
The legal handbook, you had actually asked me to take out of the
Yeah,
agenda,
I
and
thought
I
so,
didn't,
at the
and
last
I
meeting,
didn't,
yeah.
so I did for the next agenda.
Okay.
Okay. The item B is cannabis odor update joint public meeting did occur on May 3rd. The results of the meeting are that on, I believe it is June 7th, there will be another joint meeting here. Both operators stated that they would get their plans, written plans, how they plan to reduce odors during harvest for 2023 to the boards, planning and board of health, about a week in advance so we can look at them, so that we can see if there's any questions. The meeting was extremely well attended, and was going quite well up to a certain point, and then it flipped and did not go so well. The comments made by Bowie towards the end of the meeting were inappropriate in my mind, and that
Potentially,
kind of
truthful.
and untruthful, and that kind of behavior will not be allowed at the next meeting. And I think I'm just gonna leave it at that.
The email we got with the letter from OSHA, I'm not sure what we were supposed to do with that.
Nothing, was just for your own
Just,
information.
it was just for, I'm sorry, it was just for information.
FYI?
She gave it to me at that other meeting, and I
Oh,
asked her if she
okay.
wanted me to scan it in and just send it to everybody.
Okay,
Right.
so I'm
Just
assuming
to save her some work, so.
that's like a CCC thing where
Yeah.
when they come and do inspections, they would notice if they have the area well ventilated and those
Right.
kind of things. So it's not really something for
No,
us other
that's just
than just
info.
for our knowledge, okay.
Yeah,
But the
it's
thing
just-
that surprised me about this was, that person died. How long does it take for an exposure to that, for you to die?
Sounded like it was an existing medical condition, so somebody had asthma and then that triggered an asthma attack. An asthma
Oh, is
attack
that
can
how,
be
is that how
deadly.
that happens? I don't know,
It sounded that way when I
Yeah.
read it.
I was like, I read it, I'm there, oh my god.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
sounded
was this
like it.
person working there for years, or did this happen? They didn't really tell you that, you know? That
Yeah.
was shocking to see
Yeah.
that somebody died.
Right,
Yeah.
this
They
is
ground
the
up
case.
marijuana, gets
they-
powder and
Yeah,
it was
wow.
inhaled and
Right.
was enough to trigger an asthma attack
Yeah.
that apparently
Oh,
was
okay,
deadly.
But-
I don't know
um,
anything about that, so.
The reason I brought this to our attention is OSHA is working on standards in processing areas that they are going, so that any workers don't become overexposed, which can make them sick.
Yeah,
You can
think
get
they'd have to wear some
exposed.
type of ventilation
Right,
mask or something.
one of the other options is that they have a ventilation system that has, a carbon,
Scrubber?
I call it a scrubber, that's the engineering, the chemical engineering term for
Yeah.
the filters, the HVAC system,
Yeah.
it's a carbon. Bowie claims he has that in his drying area. I don't know if he does or does not. I will make one other comment. The week prior to the meeting, I reached out to the Massachusetts Cannabis Control Commission, and they were very prompt in calling me back, and I actually spoke with each of the operators has a separate staff person assigned to them to look to follow their operation. And I spoke to Tim, who oversees Paper Crane business. And in general terms, he discussed that, number one, no complaints were received. He had checked with the other fella. I never actually did get to talk to the other one that was assigned to Royal Sun. But to the cannabis controls, Bowie did correctly notify the Cannabis Control Commission that there had been odor complaints made and all. And the Cannabis Control Commission at this point will abide by the individual's town's decisions in regards to a particular cannabis operation and rules that the individual towns or communities may make. So if we put, if they give us plans and we approve these plans for less odor, we will forward that information to the Cannabis Control Commission so that when they do their inspections, they can also see that the guidelines that for less odor are being followed.
Okay, so that they're in compliance of what
Correct.
the town suggests, okay.
That's correct.
That's good,
Um,
something.
So in doing my research, I'm gonna state it one more time. Agricultural hemp is a kind of marijuana that can be grown in Massachusetts. It must have a THC less than 0.5%. It is primarily used for making CBD oil. It is under the supervision of MDAR, which is Massachusetts Department of Agriculture, and they have yearly inspections. That's the part of the cannabis / marijuana business that is agriculture. The operations of Royal Sun and Paper commercial businesses, according to Massachusetts guidelines. That's how they are not considered farms. They do not operate under MDR, neither one of these. They operate under the Cannabis Control Commission of Massachusetts. And as such, the rules of agriculture, like right to farm and so on, do not apply to their business, because by Massachusetts law, they are not, even though they're growing plants, it's been separated out as to how it's going to be overseen and approved, and it's not considered agriculture. So that's the distinction that is in the current method of having cannabis operations in Massachusetts.
So the Cannabis Control Commission is not within MDR?
No,
Okay.
They're just a state agency?
yes, set up specifically for retail and this kind of growing operation that they are, where the THC levels are much higher,
Which is commercial.
which they're defining as a commercial operation.
And it was my understanding it's the THC components of the plant that makes them aromatic, and that the hemp agricultural stuff is not nearly, does not smell like that.
So, I did some thinking and realized that my exposure to pot was over 50 years ago. And I am sure that the varieties that were grown 50 years ago are not,
Much lower THC.
was much, because
Yes, much lower,
the odors from that kind of
yeah.
pot growing
Never
and
smell-
stuff
never
never
smelled like
smelled
skunk.
like this.
Never, no.
So that's, and I realized that, wow, that was a long time ago. Oops.
Yeah.
It was a really long time ago in my life.
But the
So
THC
that was,
content
that's,
now-
that's the difference in what we're seeing today.
Yeah, and these plants
In-
were genetically modified to increase the
I don't know if they
THC
were
content.
genetically modified
Well,
or
grown
just
to-
hybridized.
Yes, grown to increase the THC. on purpose.
Hybridized, I don't know that they were genetically modified. I don't know that,
Yeah.
that's another whole ballpark, let me
Yeah.
tell you.
Well, you know how
As a
they,
certified organic farm, I understand what genetically modified plants are. We won't even go there.
Yeah.
We could talk about that for a week.
yeah,
Anyhow, but yes, they have been hybridized to the point that it's much different than it used to be. And that was just one of the realizations that one day I'm like, oh,
yeah,
it was over 50 years ago. So,
yeah,
no wonder things are different.
yeah,
It's not a big deal, it just is.
very much, yeah.
I would like to see them succeed within the parameters of their special permits. I would like to see them succeed. I'm not against their
Did I
enterprises.
hear correctly, there's gonna be a storefront also eventually, or?
I believe that Paper Crane wants to have a retail, business, but, I don't believe that's in their current permit. I may be wrong. I don't know.
Okay.
That I can't speak to. But that was mentioned in the May 3rd meeting as future plans. Okay. Anything else on that? Okay. On the Holden Hospital account, I apologize, I have not followed up since the last meeting on anything.
And that's, will the state let us know when they're gonna release those?
So what is, the conflict came last fall. The Board of Health for many, many years got 20% of the amount of money released from that balance left of that is allotted to Hubbardston, one of 14 different towns when that hospital closed. And we have records that Dennis pulled together showing that those payments to the Board of Health up through 2017. And then several accounting things went on, and he didn't find anything newer. So, the second part of that was, I'm not sure who brought it to Nate's attention, or, was that the document on file in the treasurer's office did not delineate the fact that, it was approved at the court level for Hubbardston to use to split the monies versus all going to, EMS systems that we had. You know, the ambulance and so on. So I'm still trying to track that down, and get that sorted out. But I have also gotten very busy with my own business that I didn't follow up on that. So I'm sorry about that. It's not going to make much difference in the balance of our accounts at this particular time, but it is something that needs to be sorted out. As it's 8:17 already, I guess the tattoo sections, it's tattoos and,
What was it? It's on the.
What was it, massage?
No,
we should look at those at home, so that when we come to the next meeting, it's like reviewing minutes. So if you could, Nancy, send those sections to us, the
Okay.
two sections.
Yeah.
To us, to our email, so we can review them ahead of time, so that we don't have to take a long time making any corrections. I think would be a wiser use of our time.
Hold it right here. Right.
Yeah, you had them there. It is,
Okay. Private and public water supplies.
private and public
Is that it?
water.
Yeah, and then body art
And then,
establishments.
body art establishments, yeah. So,
So I have those.
all right. do we have copies for everybody? No,
I
just
only
two
made 2 copies.
Okay. Alright, you know what, give me one of the two.
Do you want me to scan those in, like I did with this letter? Cause then,
I can do, unless you want to, but I can do it.
oh, okay, alright.
Alright,
It's just so much easier than making copies for everybody and wasting
Right.
paper.
Correct.
Right.
that's
I
why I
do-
say we can review them online, we'll bring it and do it quickly at the next meeting. If I have this in front of me, I'll show it. Okay. New business, we handled Cushman Pond, email welcoming Chelsea as our
I
new.
don't- I didn't know if this was anything.
Chelsea Orifice is the new Region 2 coordinator, just so you're aware. There's the letter of that.
Yeah, I think we got that, or I got that as an email.
Oh, you did, 'cause I did too, that's all I got.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I got
everybody's aware of that,
as
right?
an email, yeah.
Okay. That can go in a folder in correspondence kind of thing.
That's just the letter that you
Everybody
wrote.
see this?
Yeah, I did.
I didn't see that.
I've never seen it, so I read it.
Okay, under unexpected subjects, next meeting, we'll have to put a category in for, food inspections, add food inspections to the line, separate line.
For, under new business?
Yeah, 'cause it'll be
Yeah.
updated for whatever I get done, so I did,
Yeah, there'll be more fairs and things to be,
Well,
some
I
that they'll have to,
right, I
Put these
have
in March.
2 campgrounds to get done before Memorial Day and, so on and so forth.
Yeah,
2
and,
campgrounds?
Yes, Peaceful Acres and then, Bella's,
Carlton Farm?
Bella's,
Oh,
private campground.
That was fine, yeah, that's right, yeah.
As far as the cruise road thing goes, what do? You just go and like knock on the door and
Yes, I will.
ask if they have
Yeah,
serve safe and permits and
I'll
then-
bring the information,
So you take it with you
I would
and then
take them
just
a free copy to, and say, this is, you
what
know.
they need to fill out and.
Yep, let's,
And in the meantime, are they allowed to continue doing what they're doing? Yeah. Maybe if they have a ServSafe or.
if they don't, if they're not, if they don't have survey safe, I'm gonna ask them to stop until they file the paperwork.
But
Which-
only if they don't have ServSafe?
Yeah. If they don't have ServSafe, correct.
I just didn't know
I-
just didn't know how
I'm
that
just-
works.
Trying to be reasonable,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, well, we're supposed
There's
to be
no-
protecting the community and we don't
Correct.
know what's going on in there.
Correct.
Yeah, in the
So,
kitchen or
w-
whatever.
So we'll just start off and say, you know, this is what you need to do, and this is,
Yeah, and it's not super expensive stuff, and it's
No,
not, like I
we-
said,
yeah.
ServSafe is online now, it's a pretty quick course, just take
and
it.
the allergens awareness part they have to do, and then file for a residential kitchen license.
It's slap an ingredients label on things,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Made such and such date.
Yeah.
Yep, and then I do a kitchen inspection. And the reason our fees are still low is because I'm on the board, and as a board member, I cannot be reimbursed for doing those, and I just do them. It saves everybody money. When I'm no longer on the board, then the fees are gonna go up.
Oh,
So.
I saw the, no trespassing signs posted on,
Oh,
what is that,
yes.
101, the old Bob's Bait Shop.
85.
85
Gardner
Gardner
Road.
Road,
Gardner Road?
that's gotta go on
Okay.
here
Yep.
as well, and
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that, cause I didn't see it on here.
Gardner
Yeah, I
Road
saw the
is-
signs. You saw the roof though, Colleen, now? Have you driven by?
Oh, yeah, I
Quarter
drove
of
by
it.
yesterday.
Quarter
Yeah.
of it is gone.
Yep.
Okay, so under the
It's going quick.
inspections, before we go on to that,
Yep.
I did one, and just to let you know, there was a couple ceiling issues, and that I asked a letter be written and already sent to the owner of the little plaza. And that's that. We don't have to,
Is that
I'll
Mr.
follow up.
Mike's?
No,
Oh, no, this is across the street.
where Giacomo's and Stars and Stripes is. Oh. Okay. I didn't reach out to the contractor or real estate agent.
No, we talked about it, and I'm gonna remember when to write a letter.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and I haven't had a chance
Okay.
to do it yet.
Alright.
How old is that building?
I don't know.
None of us have been here long enough to know.
So it's been there as long as I have, 24 years.
It's been there longest since 1993.
Yeah, we moved in 99, it was there, so.
It was there, yep, and I was here in 93, it was there, so.
Okay, so that's,
But anyway,
that's just
that's a
simply
lot.
how I follow up.
And
I-
you'll just go back and
Yeah.
do a
Yeah, it's not like it's not operational at this point, but it's something that, because it's on the ceiling, I felt like I needed to write a letter to the property owner.
Well, it's
I-
just stuff they should get fixed anyway.
So I did,
It's right over the food area.
I have
That's what she's saying.
a Board of Health iPad, I gotta bring that in and get a new battery for it, figure out how to order a new battery. It won't hold the charge for more than a couple days, but I take photographs of everything on the iPad. And at some point, if we have a tech savvy person, they're gonna transfer all those photographs to cloud. Yes, we'll ask for Mark's help. Mallory did get some of it on there, but I take photographs of stuff now, so we have a visual record as well. And that brings us back to 85 Gardner Road. I did post the house that was with the roof falling in. One of the Sarge went with me, and it is very clear that someone is living in the trailer, and it has been, according to Sarge, more than 6 months. We need to condemn that as well. So I would like to make a motion that we condemn the occupancy of the RV type trailer at 85 Gardner Road, and give them 14 days to leave, to find other housing. So the letter needs to be sent to the owner. Oh, I gotta bring that address in. Because
Is it an elderly person that's living there, or you don't know?
he's appears to be anywheres from 50 to 65-ish in age.
So you actually talked to him?
Yes, he
Oh.
came out,
Oh,
but just opened the door, and it's obvious I don't know where there's no septic connected up to the septic on the property and stuff, so,
And no running water in the RV?
not that I'm aware
Yeah.
of.
Unless there's a hose hooked up somewhere.
I did
I
not
know, there's gotta be something that empties that in the RV, I mean, can't just have an RV and just, it gets full.
Yeah.
He probably is using an outhouse, maybe?
Well, there probably is a septic on the property.
Yes, I didn't see a pipe running underneath connecting anywheres along the ground like you normally would,
Yeah.
a gray water thing.
Oh, so you just informed him that in Hubbardston you can only live in one of those for 6 months?
So,
Right.
yeah, well, our guidelines is to give people a chance to,
Yeah. Seek
so we
other-
need to, post that as well.
Is he the owner of the property?
No, he's
A relative?
the fella said that, oh, I didn't bring my notes, I apologize,
Oh,
cause
that's
I
okay.
have his first name written down, and all, that the owner who lives in Gardner, and he gave us the owner's address, so we can send him a letter first, and then go back and talk to this fella, and whenever I go, he will have 14 days from when I go, so if I don't get there for 3-4 days, he's gonna have 14 days from 3-4 days to
Yeah.
find other place to live. And we'll send a certified letter to the owner. So the fellow living in the RV said that the owner lets him stay there. That's all I know.
Does he have any idea that this is gonna happen?
No. No, but it's obviously through the open door, you can see it's trashy inside. That's all I can say. We did
Okay.
not ask to go in.
Okay.
That's why I wanna give the fella some more time to find other place to live. I
That
mean,
must have been a rough winter,
Yeah.
staying in an RV like that in the winter.
All the smell.
Not good.
Especially we had some really cold,
Yeah.
cold spells.
so, yeah. Then, okay. I think that's where we're at, so I would like to condemn the, trailer as well. It doesn't seem to be connected up to anything, I don't see any disposal pipes, any water pipes connected to it. It's probably using bottled water and soda and stuff.
I suppose if the house has a well, but it didn't look like there was any electricity to the house anymore.
No, there isn't.
So that what electricity would be running the well, so, yeah, so there probably is no water either.
There's no
Right.
water lines hooked up.
Yeah, if there's
That's
no,
all I can
if there's
say.
no electricity, you
don't
couldn't even have
know
like a
what
hose, like I'm thinking maybe you ran a hose to the house, but if there's no electricity, there's no water coming up the well,
Mm-hmm.
so.
I didn't make that observation one way or the other, I can't answer that.
Okay.
Alright. Okay, under complaints, 91 Hale Road is still in the court system, so it stays open. 248 Gardner Road, there was a meeting yesterday, attended by Nate, Building Inspector Duffy, myself, Nancy, and Mark, Mark Kresge, who's the planning board, clerk, assistant, and,
Chris.
thank you, Chris Monroe, I'm drawing a blank all of a sudden. from the chair of the planning board to try to sort out what could be done at 248 Gardner Road. At this point, Duffy, my summary is that Duffy will not be involved, cause there's no, building stuff going on. However, the number of vehicles and all the trash, and Nate was, had a fellow come in twice who was stating that he was from Templeton and knew that old cars from a Templeton site were being brought over to this site. And that's, he wanted the town to know that.
I think there are more cars here now.
So,
Mhm.
I went by the other day, it seems to be more
They
cars.
just sold 2 cars. There was a Hummer sitting there for a couple of days, a really nice shiny black
I saw that.
Hummer
Yeah,
for sale. And it's gone now. I don't know if it's sold, and a nice black truck too.
okay,
So kind of they're selling vehicles out of it.
yeah, but
They-
not the other ones.
So
Yes.
Nate is representing the select board because, it can't be a car resale place or a junkyard, one or the other, because it's not allowed in that area. Nate is going to, with our approval tonight, write a combined letter, and investigate, who it should go to, the actual owner of the land, sort out who's renting, get some names, so on and so forth. And possibly also the mortgage company may be notified. And he has offered to put together a joint letter on behalf of the town for all 3 groups, the select board, the planning board, and the board of health. And, he'll send that out to us for, review before, but, I make a motion that we, give Nate permission to, on our behalf, write a letter to, in regards to the trash and possible, other issues that are board of health related. So, is that, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so that allows him to move forward, to create this joint letter. Bottom line is, we don't have too many, resources available, if they don't want to comply. However, Chris Monroe suggested, there's a certain office in the Attorney General's division, that might be helpful for this kind of situation, and they're gonna look into that. Okay? And so we are trying to make forward movement on all of that. And, that's where that stands. I have to, it would be easy if all our old minutes were online already to know when Judy actually, did the inspection. She did the inspection originally, and I thought it was in 2020, but maybe it wasn't until 2021.
Of the outside of the property?
She drove up the dirt road
Yes.
adjacent,
Yeah, where the solar panels are.
and,
That was in 2021, I think, either that or very early 2022.
okay, 2021, alright, so that's
I'm pretty sure because it seems like it was,
not as far back as I thought.
no.
Yeah, and she had
Yeah.
all those pictures too that she took.
Oh, that's right, she took the pictures.
Yes, she
So
took
I had the
pictures
wrong
while she was
year
up there,
in my
as
mind.
mattresses and all kinds of things up at the top
Right.
of the hill there, that
Yeah,
things they
like-
were burning, couches and,
There was a lot of trash stuff
Mhm.
there.
yeah.
So that was the original, time that the owner was spoken to about having the renters not do that kind of stuff. So we'll have to check with eventually and sort out exactly when that got initiated. I was thinking 2020, but I don't think it went back that far.
I might be able to find her.
Yeah. Okay, so it's being worked on. We received an anonymous complaint, a road, a house on Worcester Road near Halfrey Road, new construction. I need to fill in my response. I'll have to come in and do that.
Okay.
I did go by, I said last week, last week, which day?
Yeah, 'cause
27th,
we
yeah,
we
so
talked
I,
about it
yeah,
last week.
so when a complaint comes in, I'm contacted to investigate. The concern was that, the construction workers were just going in the woods to relieve themselves. There was no porta potty on the property. I drove by last week. I think it was Wednesday. I have it written down. And I need to fill in what I did. And that was to do a drive-by inspection. And, there wasn't any visible on the property. Was unable to drive on the property that day because there was a truck there in the process of putting in a telephone/electric pole, so that, you know, every so many feet you have to have a pole from the house to the road, so they needed so that, the driveway was blocked, I couldn't go in, but I didn't see anything.
Is this a new house?
Yes, new construction.
Oh,
I can't picture it.
So the plan is to reach out to the, real estate company,
The builder.
the builder, the builder of the property.
yeah, I'd say the builder because
Sorry,
his
I meant
guys.
builder.
Yeah.
It's his employees that are
Right.
doing this.
So that's the plan, is to write a letter, so that's in Nancy's now to-do list. We got a phone call on May 4th from someone on Cape Cod, first name Erica. She was concerned that, Cindy Phillips has too many dogs on her property for the way they're, and that,
What has too many dogs?
that Cindy Phillips Countryside location has Countryside Rotties, has way too many animals, and concerned about the health of the animals on the property.
Where's that located?
I have no idea.
Is
I've
it on
never heard
Berry
of it.
Road?
Yes.
on
Yeah.
Berry Road. And
Never had
so, I was notified, and I feel that it is more, an animal control. Did you reach out to
I
them?
did.
That we should, reach out to the animal control officer that we share for the town. And, that if they have concerns, that it's not just the care of the dogs when they go to do the visit, but also the home itself or buildings, then they can bring that back to the Board of Health, and we'll do an inspection. But first, I think it needs to go through animal control.
And this person called
there-
from Cape Cod?
They had bought an animal, second dog in August of 2022, but why
Why did they
Almost
wait?
a
they
Yeah.
waited, I don't
Almost
know.
a year.
Something must have happened.
Yeah.
I
I
think
don't-
her dog got sick.
Oh, okay, her
She
dog.
bought 2 dogs.
And-
One in
Is
in
there-
June of 2021 and a second dog in August of 2022. So.
Do
less
we
than a
have some
year.
type of regulation in town saying you can only have X number of animals on a property? Is there a?
Yes, this kennel, you need a kennel license.
Correct.
And so I
Well,
did.
so do they?
I did reach out to animal control, and I spoke not with, Cheryl is the, control officer. I can't remember the woman I spoke with, but, she, said that she had thought that, Cheryl had done an inspection on the kennel, but then Cheryl called me back and left a message saying that she, Cindy Phillips had not paid for a kennel license, so she no longer had a kennel license. So I tried calling her back today, and I left a message, but I haven't been able to reach her directly to question.
So kennel licenses are paid through
Town
town
clerk.
clerk. So we need to follow up with the town clerk to report that Cindy does not have a kennel license
Well, I wanna confirm with Cheryl
first.
first.
Yep.
That's
and-
why I called her, to
Yep.
make sure that I have my information correct.
And then if s- not, notify the town clerk
And
to,
she might not have, like, if she doesn't have a current litter, does she need a kennel license? You know, if she
If
doesn't
she
have
Depends
dogs.
on how many dogs you have.
Right,
It's
if
in-
she
it's
sold
based
them
on-
all though, maybe
But
she
you
only
have-
has one right
you-
now or two,
It depends.
yeah. So maybe
But
that's why she let it lapse.
this girl said that she has Rotties, Pit Bulls, and Frenchies, so she has multiple dogs.
So she's breeding and selling, but not necessarily boarding?
I
Like doesn't
don't- I
board other
don't
people's
know.
dogs, or you don't know?
I don't know.
we don't know.
Okay. So that's all up to animal control though, they should know what's going on in that,
If she
in the kennel
has,
and in the,
if she has more than 4 dogs, she needs a kennel license. You can have a kennel license 4 and under, I believe, but they can't be, you can't breed them. You can have 4 pets, but they can't be for breeding purposes.
if they're breeding, then you need a kennel license.
You need a kennel license, because you need inspections.
Right. And then if the animal control officer sees the facility does not meet good
Standards.
standards, we can be pulled back in.
Mhm.
So that's why I directed it to them first.
Mhm.
We may still be involved at some point. Um, So we also got a complaint, from Ron Howe of Rutland who sells at Rieta. And he says that there's a person that comes from Connecticut that sells flowers every weekend there. And I initially wasn't sure if it's a Board of Health issue. It's not.
He's concerned because they sell
Yeah.
flowers
At Rieta.
at Rieta.
But grown in another state, and it's not a Board of Health issue. So for
Oh.
number one.
Is that like the, you can't bring wood out of Worcester County because of the,
Those Asian
The-
longhorn
Yeah.
beetles?
yeah,
I don't know.
and now
I
they have the
mean-
lanternflies, is this the same idea?
I think he's, yeah.
Or does he sell flowers too and he's just mad?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I haven't been over to see if he's selling flowers this year.
So his issue is that the flowers are coming from another state? Not
Correct.
that there's any real health issue going on,
Right.
he's just
Yeah.
concerned.
Right, but that's,
And that he doesn't have a permit
To sell flowers.
to sell flowers. That's
Do you need a special permit to sell flowers?
not that I'm aware
Yeah.
of.
Connecticut flowers.
I mean, I know there are certain trees and things, like there's a crimson red maple that you cannot
So,
supposedly
you
sell
know,
in New Hampshire.
Agway
Mhm.
sells plants.
Sell it here.
Home
Okay.
Depot sells plants. Lowe's sells plants. Hardwick Farmers Co-op sells plants, and those are almost all from out of state.
Yeah.
If there's any concerns, it has to go through the Department of Agriculture. So, you know, if he wants to follow up, I'll let him know when
okay.
I
Or
do
when
the,
you go,
do
This-
my Rieta inspection.
This wouldn't be like a conservation commission thing,
No,
would
no,
it?
has nothing to do, it has to do with agriculture, Department of Agriculture.
Okay.
Well, the guy's from Connecticut, but where is he getting the flowers that he's selling? Maybe he comes from Connecticut, buys them in Massachusetts and then sells them.
mean,
You don't know where he
People
gets them,
People
right?
sell flowers
know.
on the side of the road. You're gonna
Yeah.
see that, it's Mother's Day, right,
Yes.
coming up?
Yeah,
Mhm.
They're
yeah.
gonna be all over the place selling flowers on the side of the road. Do they all have a permit?
No,
No.
if you're
Yeah.
selling your own flowers, you're fine.
Yeah.
I
So,
don't need
I
a
don't know.
permit to sell plants on my farm.
No.
No.
There's no permit required. There is some rules under agriculture about plants, like you said, because of certain insects and stuff. There are transportation of live materials across lines, and that includes animals and everything else. But that all comes under the Department of Agriculture, not the Board of Health.
Okay.
Alright. And I can say that pretty confidently since I'm a farmer myself. Okay, moving on, so we can go home. Turnovers and warrants,
That's just a zero.
right, there's the, MPHN is showing us a zero balance owed for a visit, perhaps?
I don't know.
We don't know what they did, cause they don't tell us.
Correct.
We
I will
still
follow
have-
up on that.
Well,
Why
it's
are we not getting?
I
zero
don't know.
balance.
They did something because they went, is it
It's like
$50?
they tested,
What does that say?
Jardiasis, they tested, and it cost $50 and
Came out of the fee that we paid,
I guess so.
correct.
Who or what did they test?
And where?
Yeah,
There's no
somebody in
information.
Hubbardston,
Right, was in Hubbardston.
but
So
we're
this is-
supposed to get a report,
Correct.
and if they tested, we're supposed to get results.
But you.
You just want everything.
We're paying,
No,
we're
no,
paying,
you're
we're paying
paying
bucks for this.
I know.
By state guidelines, we are supposed to be notified.
Well, they don't think so. They don't even give us a report, and now all of a sudden one shows up.
They clearly tested somebody and, but they're not telling us anything, they're not giving us any kind of reports.
I know, I will follow up.
Contaminated water can lead to infection.
Yeah.
And intestinal infection.
And that's a Board of Health issue, especially if it was in someone's water or in someone's food, right? We have to know where
Or
they
it
got the
It
food.
could come from an animal, cause dogs get giardia.
Let me write down.
But
The
again,
date
still a
was
Board of Health
July
issue, we need to know where the
5,
source was and if they tested positive and.
PHN.
What's the date on that? What's the date of the test? Is there anything with a
Doesn't
date?
say, does it?
11/15
What?
report.
That's my birthday.
Oh, 5
I didn't
months
get
ago?
tested.
Five or
I
six-
didn't get tested.
So they tested somebody 5 or 6 months ago? And they're just showing us the bill, but where was the information on this
Wow.
work they did?
I mean, I could look back and email and see if I can find something.
No, I don't think anything came in.
I don't think we ever
Um,
saw anything
no.
come
We
across.
haven't
At that point, Judy and I were checking emails.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
We were.
we were getting nothing.
No,
'Cause
we
there was still some COVID back then and we were still kinda trying to get numbers from them
Okay.
of COVID cases and,
Here's a
and
perfect.
they given us nothing.
Yeah,
Perfect example. Oh, okay.
for the money that you're spending.
All right, so there we are. And here's the amount of money, and this is going into, most of it's going into the septic account.
Yay.
Peaceful Acres and campground permits are going into our revolving account. Correct?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
We're not going any deeper into the red.
But like, so there's it's 20% and 80%,
Right.
20%, so when it's, say.
If there's a double listing, 20% goes to the town general fund, 80% goes to our fund. Okay? Alright, see the first couple?
Yeah.
That's how,
Okay.
okay, that she's doing that.
So the 80% is
Well,
town?
No,
No,
us,
should
it's
be
going
us.
into the septic, because the septic fund is in the red in excess of $11,000.
Trying to.
Yeah.
And we're only gonna,
Recover.
yes, we're only going to do that until such time as.
Well, it's just going into the regular funds that it's supposed to be going into. Yeah.
the
Tuesday, May
Go ahead.
23rd.
23rd at 7.
Oh, it's on here. Nancy
Yeah.
she's just right up there.
I know. I
On
don't
the
even have to
ball.
think
We'd,
about
we'd
it.
have to look at a calendar.
I know, we were always busy. What's the next
What-
2
what's the-
weeks?
when's the
Look
next
it on the phone.
But now we have Nancy.
We don't have to work so hard. Thank you.
But we do have to give our folders back every 2 weeks. Empty. Well,
That's what we
Julie's
have accountants for, right? You're welcome. You'd think, the town would be a little more interested in figuring out where all that, like, why is it in the red like that? Like, the town accountant, somebody,
She's working on it.
yeah?
She
The
is.
one in Florida?
Yep.
People in
Thank
Florida
you.
work sometimes, right?
Yes.
No, no, they're at the beach, we know where they are, they're
No,
under a
that's
palm
not
tree.
true. She's been on Zoom meetings and everything.
Alright,
Like
I
the-
hope
I
they're
think
really working on
she'll be
it.
here tomorrow, actually, I think she's up.
I hope they're doing some forensic accounting in there, figuring out what the heck happened. I know you have some general ideas, but I don't know if it's to that total
That
amount.
accounts.
That
I
total
know.
amount,
Is a
it-
lot.
yeah, just not collecting some fees wouldn't have gotten us to that point.
I don't think so.
And overpaying, you know, for some inspections, I still don't think would have gotten that to there. So,
We need to
like,
see
where
what-
the heck did it go?
I think it just got put into wrong accounts, that's what I
Yes,
think.
let's hope so, and that it's somewhere, and then we're gonna get it back. Can they do that? Can
I
they make
think-
those adjusting entries and get it back in the right accounts?
I can't say for sure, but, if things are not in the correct accounts, she can transfer money.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Hopefully they can get that fixed.
That's nice.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, thanks.
All right, so I make
so-
a motion to adjourn at 8:51 PM.
My second, my third, and my fourth.
I'll go home